Hello and welcome to the shooting show. This evening we're going to be out on some cut fields waiting for some foxes. So this evening I'm going to be sitting out, watching out over this field. This field's been freshly cut today. Now usually when the field's just been cut, it's brilliant for foxes, not so good for my hay fever. I sound a bit bunged up, sorry about that. But it's ideal for foxing. So yeah, a sit out and wait is always worthwhile, because anything that's been chopped up by the mower, any like voles or insects and stuff like that around the field that might have been unlucky enough to get in the way of the blades, are going to be minced up on this field, so it's easy pickings for the foxes. Also, where mice and that have had runs all through this grass and that, which has been undercover until now, are all now exposed, so the mice and that will still be running through their little paths and that, but any foxes that are smart enough will be out on that and be able to pick them out easy. So yeah, hopefully if I sit here and give it till sort of, you know, I don't know, a few hours or something, just till midnight or so, then I'm hoping that something will appear. So the gear I'm using this evening, as always, is the Pulsar Accolade 2s, and I'm also using the Thermion. This is the Thermion 2, this is the thermal Riflescope. I've got this mounted on my Savage BA stealth rifle, it's a 223, so it's certainly good out to a couple of 100 yards. Yeah, this scope is very, very clear. I've been very impressed with that. It's nice and easy to use. You've got your basic 3 buttons on the back there which do all your main functions, your on off, your zoom and your record button. Focusing on the front there like a normal day scope. In fact, it's very much like a standard day scope. It's got a 30mm tube, so just takes normal scope mounts. Here I'm using just 2-piece Sportsmatch mounts, very good mounts those. That holds that nice and steady on there. And yeah, you can scroll through the menu options with this. What would normally be your focus wheel, your parallax, but you scroll through your menu with that, and then the centre button there selects your options. And the top one, that actually houses the battery. There's also a second battery in there, so it's got one on board, and then that's just a backup battery, so you get a good long lifespan out of that as it is, and obviously you get other batteries and you can get more batteries for it to keep it going for as long as you like, but that little setup lasts quite well. So yeah, all in all, very nice little setup that. So there's 1 or 2 hairs down the bottom there, and sometimes they can really get you going because you think it's a fox, because they're very similar size, or at least through the thermal. When you're talking 350 yards away or wherever it is down to that bottom hedge, then they can look quite fox-like. But very often, as is the case with thermal, it's more about how an animal moves than how it looks. So when a fox comes through, you can tell by the way it kind of moves through the field, and they tend to zigzag about, and they're always on the move, so you can usually tell a fox from a hare like that. A hare tends to obviously just lollops along. And again with the badgers, the biggest giveaway is they've got like a humped back, and also they tend to be a lot brighter in the thermal than foxes. Foxes are a little bit, and just not quite so bright. I guess they don't have quite so much heat loss through their coat as what badgers do. But yeah, it's all things you just pick up when you use thermal a fair bit. Right, so I saw a fox along that back hedgerow there, and I thought I'd try and walk down and get a bit closer to it because it was probably 400 yards away. It's a fair old distance across there, about 360 metres. So I went back to the edge of the field and went down the hedgerow because at that point it was still just sort of just starting to get dark. So I walked along down the edge of the hedgerow there to try and cover some ground on it. I think it must have gone down, so there's a slight dip in that field. I think it must have gone down into the dip and then down into the next field, because when I got round there I couldn't see it. I don't know where it went. And soon after that the farmer and farm next door come round lamping rabbits from his truck. So I think that's pretty much put paid to this field for this evening anyway, or at least for a couple of hours. I think what I'll do is go and have a look round around the rest of the farm and perhaps pop back up here just before I go. Hey! Hey! Sweet, fox down. That fox was 190 metres, so what's that? Just over 200 yards, 210 yards, something like that. Yeah, just went straight at him, straight down. Lovely. Just gave him a little shout just to stop him, and yeah, what's a treat. Excellent. And that was off the Rekon tripod as well. I couldn't get a shot of anything else. The grass and that's quite tall there, so there was no chance to rest on a fence post or anything. But I just pulled up in the truck and looked down into this valley here. A quick look with the thermal, and I just see him going away up the bank. So yeah, just quickly grabbed the rifle, got on the tripod, job done. Happy with that. So I was just about to go and pick that first one up, glance around the thermal, and there's another one coming across the bank just to the left of me. Hopefully I got that on the scope. Hopefully I recorded it. I think I pressed the button, but I'm not entirely sure. I'm getting a bit tired, so that's my excuse anyway. But yeah, came in 75 metres, and he just sat. I'll give him a squeak, and he sat down to have a look, and just straight over. I would think, judging by the size of it, it didn't look particularly big, so I think that's probably one of this year's cubs. So there's a good chance might be a few more up along this hedgerow here. I think I might give it a little bit longer just to see if anything else comes out, and then if not, I'll go and pick them up. Yep, so that's one of this year's cubs. It's a little vixen. So that was good. It's always good to get a vixen. There's one less that could potentially breed next year or this year. So good. Pleased with that. I'll go and get the other one. Right, normally I'd pick up all the foxes that I shoot around the farm, but on this occasion the one that's down in the valley there I'm going to leave because the cattle have walked up and they're quite close to it. Now they've got young calves and they've also got a bull down there as well, so I don't fancy trying to outrun any of that lot. So I'll leave that for the farmer to collect in the morning when he does his rounds. I'll give him a text and let him know where it is. So yeah, that's about it for tonight, but thanks for watching, and remember, if you're not a member of Basque, it's time to join.